What is the most expensive word in the automotive industry? Is it recall? No. Is it strike? No. The most expensive word in your business is yes. Specifically, the yes you hear from a polite Indian engineer who knows your timeline is impossible, but respects you too much to tell you. That yes is the budget killer. It creates the so-called watermelon project. It's green on the outside and it's red and bleeding on the inside. If you are a German manager, you love the word yes. It makes you feel safe. But I'm telling you today, that safety is an illusion and it costs you millions. Imagine a meeting room. One side is sitting in Stuttgart or Munich. The other side is on a video screen in Pune, Bangalore or maybe Hyderabad. The German manager asks you, can we deliver the software update by Friday? The room in India goes quiet for 3 seconds. Then someone nods and says, yes, we will try. The German manager closes his laptop. He smiles. He thinks, good, we are agreed. But what does he not know yet? He just lost €1 million. He just agreed to a delay that will stop a factory line in 3 months. Why? Because he thinks silence means yes. But in the corridor between Germany and India, silence is almost never an agreement. Silence is often a warning signal. You should read it as a red light. But if you do not have the cultural eyes to see it, you will drive right past the red light and you will crash. I am Andy Balbus. I was born in Germany, but for 26 years I have lived in the engine room of the global automotive industry. I have worked in Germany. I lived in Slovakia for 4 years. I lived in Pune, in India, for 2 years. I am by far not an academic professor reading from a book. I am the guy who has stood on the factory floor when the line stopped. I have seen and felt the panic when the software didn't work. I have seen the anger when the start of production's SOP was missed. And do you know what the root cause was? Often, it wasn't bad engineering. The engineers in India are good educated. The engineers in Germany are brilliant. The cause was often silence. It was that moment, some months earlier, when someone wanted to say no, but they stayed silent out of respect. Today, we are going to dive deep. We are not just talking about culture. We are talking about hard profits. We will look at why this happens and exactly what it costs you. First, we must understand the German leader. Germany is a culture of low context. What does that mean? It means Germans trust words. Communication is like a switch. It is an on or off. It is yes or no. In the German mind, silence means agreement. If I show you a plan and you see a mistake, I expect you to tell me. In Germany, if you are silent, it means I have checked the plan. It is perfect. I have no additional objections. We see silence, and here I'm German as well, as efficient. Why to talk if everything is fine? So the German manager hears silence and it feels safe. He reports this to his board of directors. The project is green. The team is aligned. He believes this because it's in his culture. The trust is built on truth. Direct, hard truth. Now, let's look at the reality for the team in India. I have lived in Pune. I know the incredible pressure on these teams. In India, the culture is a so-called high context. Trust is built on respect. Relationships come first. When a German manager comes to the meeting, he's not just a colleague. He is seen as an expert. He is a guy from the headquarters. He is also a guest. In the Indian culture, you treat a guest like a god, and you will not insult your god. And you do not insult a superior in front of a group. So imagine the situation. The German manager presents a timeline, an aggressive one. The Indian engineer looks at it. He knows immediately, no, This will not going to happen. Because the testing takes 5 days, not like the 2 days planned. But does he raise his hand and say, boss, you're wrong? No, I don't think so. Because that would be shameful. That would make the boss look bad. He will stay silent. He will maybe say, we will do our best. And not lying. Because he's showing respect. He thinks, I will work Saturday and Sunday. I will try to make the boss plan work. The German hears only agreement. The Indian means respectful obedience. And this misunderstanding is where the disaster begins. Now I want to move away from theory. Let's talk about the real world. What happens when this false situation explodes? Let's talk about a SOP, start of production. Imagine we are building a new SUV. The launch date is fixed. The marketing is fully paid. The customers are waiting. Because of the silence some months ago, a critical software module is not ready. The Indian team was too polite to say, no, we need more weeks. So now it is the launch day and the software doesn't work. Consequence number 1, the so-called flash yard. You have to build the cars anyway. You cannot stop the factory. Let's say you build 5,000 cars, but they have no brain. The software was missing. So the cars are parked on giant parking lots. We call it a flash yard. Now, you have millions of euros of inventory sitting in the rain. So-called dead capital. We have to pay engineers to walk to every single car with a laptop, to update them manually later. The costs? Unbelievable. And the effort as well. Consequence number 2, the penalty fees. If you are a supplier and you delay an OEM, let's say VW, BMW, I'm sure you have to pay. Do you know what a line stoppage costs? If a big assembly line stops because your part is not ready, it costs you thousands of euros per minute. Not per hour, per minute. I have seen that suppliers can go bankrupt with that because of these penalties. And it all started with a moment of silence in a Zoom meeting. Consequence number 3, the final customer disappointment. Think about the customer, the end customer. They are the family, they ordered that car. They waited already 6 months. And now they get a letter delayed for additional 8 weeks. What do you think? Yes, they are angry. Maybe they cancel the order. Maybe they buy the car from a competitor. Brand reputation takes years to build and only one false yes to destroy. I call this a watermelon project. It's green on the outside and red on the inside. The German manager reports a green status because no one told him otherwise. But inside, the project is red and it is bleeding. When you finally cut the melon open, it is a mess. This is not just a misunderstanding. This is a bad business. This is why I say soft skills enable hard profits. Some people think cultural coaching is just a nice to have. They think it's just about learning to say namaste or knowing spicy food. No, cultural leadership is about protecting your profit margin. It is about avoiding the penalty fee. It is about launching on time. I am the bridge builder. I help you to fix this friction. I am able to teach Germans how to ask the questions that they get the real truth without being aggressive. And I teach Indian teams how to push back and say no in a way that feels respectful and safe. Hit subscribe and don't miss upcoming videos. I'm going to give you the practical tools, the how-to, so you never have to pay for a silent mistake again. We will talk about how to ask the magic questions. We will talk about psychological safety. I am Andy Balbus, and I don't just teach culture. I help you to sleep better at night because you know your project is actually green. Follow me. Let's change silent into a success.